Hey, yo, black man, what's happening? Peace. Now, I want to talk about something real quick, right? And this is why I make the content for the 10%. This is why I make the content for hopefully the growing 10%. Maybe it can reach 25%. But the reality is, black women have us beat in numbers, which they do actually, but they also have us beat in camaraderie, right? Now, black men, I realize it's about black men. Black men will turn on other black men for pussy. Yes, black men will throw other black men under the bus for pussy. And what's funny is about that, not even a guaranteed shot at the box for the probability, for the possibility, for the likelihood, just to get a smidget, just to get a crumb of box. Black men will throw other black men under the bus. This is why I tell you guys you need to practice semen retention. Listen, I know the videos online are talking about, listen, if you do semen retention, you will have superpowers. If you do no fap, listen, you can walk on water like Jesus. If you do semen retention, man, listen, it increases the pheromones and the female can smell the fact that you ain't bust a nut in 93 days. And you feel me? It's all types of nonsense on there. I'm not talking about that. When you practice semen retention, let me give you the truth. When you practice semen retention, you gain self-control, something that a lot of black men are lacking when it comes to dealing with women. Black men, you need to gain sexual discipline. Discipline. That's what keeps you from dealing with these chicks, man. Regardless of race, just getting put in a bad situation. Your Johnson led you there, man. You was out here trying to chase fornication. You was trying to chase sex. It's all right, dude. See, listen, black man, you have to stop priding yourself on, oh man, I can stroke. Oh man, I can make that ass clap. Oh man, I got 76 bodies. It's all right, dude. Okay, you got 76 bodies, but man, what does your life look like? What have you accomplished? Matter of fact, who have you helped? Who can say, listen, I've learned something from this guy? And we're not talking about some, oh, I taught this guy about girls, man. Come on, bro. I'm not saying learning about women isn't important, but it's so many things outside of that that actually control the direction of your life. You know what I'm saying? Women are only a small portion. So for you guys who want to still laugh at the semen retention, I talk about it because man, you can break away from black pussy, my nigga. See, you're not Tyrone. You feel me? If you were Tyrone, they're gonna just give it to you and you didn't have to really work to try and get it. But if you have to work to get it, you have to prove yourself to get it. They're telling you, listen, oh, we'll see. Oh, maybe. Oh, if you do this, then maybe I think, you know what I'm saying? It's always it's always a test for you. But you see how Tyrone just gets it thrown at him. So if you can recognize that, right? If you can recognize that, you can actualize it. And when you sit down and realize, well, listen, I haven't been getting good deals, and the deals I have received haven't been good ones, why do you keep trying? Why do you keep trying to force it to happen? And that's why so many black men, you end up in these bad positions with black women because, excuse me, you try to force it. Most things in life that you try and force to happen, it always spins and it has a bad outcome. And the outcome is worse for you than what it is for the other person within that party. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to SR, especially for guys who've been forsaken, for guys who've been casted out by the group, for guys who don't fit this negative stereotype, listen, it's best if you go somewhere else. And I mentioned in one of my videos a while back. If you are one of the guys who, all right, you got something, pretty much you're the guys who are supposed to be the backup plan. You know what I'm saying? You were hit with the boyfriend material, husband material, right? They let you know how you will be good later on. And what they did was give you free hits, right? Free hits of what? Free hits of the box. So I'm not saying you're a complete virgin. You done been with some chicks, but it's the fact that you're not good enough for reproduction. They want you to help take care of Tyrone's bastard. So the reality is you may have the finances, Tyrone have the genetics, and due to the genetics that you lack, it's your responsibility to take care of Tyrone's bastard. No, I don't want that responsibility. I don't want that obligation, and you can't force that on me. But for the guys who don't fit the stereotype, I've talked about it. If 25% of black men between 18 and 29 are siring all of the children, or a large portion of the children, aka why most of the kids are born to single parent households, because black women will still underestimate Tyrone's natural inclination to be a father, even though, yes, he may live a irresponsible and a reckless, dangerous lifestyle, right? He still became a father, and she's denying the fact that he will be interested, or she's undermining the fact that he will be interested in taking care of his progeny, just so she can bring that bastard back to you and make you take care of it. Because I told you guys before, what they want to do is create a super child. No, we're not allowing that. And again, right software, wrong hardware. You can't take the intelligence, you can't take the knowledge, wisdom, understanding from the productive man and install that into Tyrone, because it's the wrong hardware. He's not going to be able to receive it, because in order to really actuate some of those traits, listen, it's just a certain way of living that you have to do. And am I saying that Tyrones aren't capable of it? They probably are, but it's not gonna they're not gonna receive it the right way from the productive guy, because you might have practices that doesn't make sense to this guy. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, they want you to install your knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and own, and importantly, take your resources to take care of that kid, to give him a quote unquote good life. Because by herself, yeah, she can maybe do it. You know, black women preach the whole I'm strong and independent. Even though when they talk about being independent, they're talking about being independent from you, productive black man. Like, wait, hold on. Let me talk about that real quick. That's what I find so funny. And this is why I'm like, I don't feel bad about what I say about black women, because everything they say, right, it's always a diss towards you, black man. Everything they say, everything they do is to insult you, is to disrespect you. Listen, they don't even disrespect Tyrone. Yeah, they talk about how Tyrones don't have money. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. Every uh, every other quote, black women talk about, oh, black men don't have boundaries. Black men don't have money. Black men, oh, too many black men are gay. Too many black men are this, and that. Oh, we're strong and independent. You know, everything is a insult on a financial and genetic level to you, productive black man, normal black man. Everything they diss towards you. They don't ever diss Tyrone. They don't ever disrespect the stereotypical buck. You know what I'm saying? Never disrespect him, but you black men, you catch bullets. You catching AK-47s, man, M16, Uzis. You feel me? And this is why I tell guys, well, listen, if you already receive disrespect, if they seek you out for non-sexual favors, they seek you out to handle the responsibilities of other men, and they punish you for his sins, why are you guys still dealing with that? I remember growing up just seeing how it was some black guys. Listen, they were just like crossing their. Like I can vividly remember some dudes, especially the guys who were willing to wait, and I'm like, damn. But some guys were sitting back waiting, crossing their fingers, crossing their toes if they can, dude, just to get an opportunity with certain black girls. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, bro, it's so many other options out here. But again, proximity, if you're not around them, you can't even get access to them. And it's like, damn, after a while, you'll see how black women, they really put you on the back burner, dude. You will see how, listen, after a while, yo, I'm not gonna get anything. Not unless not unless you're willing to drop your standards. And I think guys, black men have already been known to have low standards. And that's why I made the one video, increase your standard, because even when you go outside your race, they have made it clear from black women that a black man will accept anything. And I see it with my own eyes, dude. Why is it that black men, why are you with these fat chicks, dude? Listen, I understand a woman, you might want a chick that have an ass. Yes, black men are known for being with women who have curves, women who have a big butt. But that big butt doesn't need to be attached to a fat stomach. Fupa. Increase your standard, man. Listen, if you're gonna go that route, at least make her work out and work out with her to keep her motivated. Make her slim down. Black men, listen, the fact that we're known for accepting anything, listen, that hurts our image. You know what I'm saying? And I will say this, most well, I can't even say most. I would say at least 50% of black men who are willing to date out, guys who are not dealing with Alexis no more. Listen, some of these guys, and I see it with my own eyes, black men, you're with some baddie, dude. You're with a baddie. A white baddie. Listen, I done seen some brothers with a baddie. I'm talking about snow bunny baddie, dude. Wagging on her. Model type. You know what I'm saying? I done seen brothers with the Spanish mommy. Fiery. Caliente. She a smoking hot pepper. You know what I mean? I done seen brothers with the nice, feminine, quiet Asian. You feel me? You know when that brother go home, she probably rub his feet. You feel me? She probably rub his feet, man. I've seen they do it, but I'm telling you guys, you have to break away from black women. And see, let me talk about this too. The damage they have done to you. See, living here in America in the West, we already know, regardless of race, the women are bad batches, right? Of course, you might have pockets of them that aren't so bad, but you have to really be able to move around to experience that, right? And not to mention that the damage that black women have already done to you. Like, I can admit I'm damaged. That damage is already permanent because I've been here in the West my whole life. You feel me? The games that women will play here in the West are different because you don't have a culture to well, I'm sorry, you don't have a culture standard, especially within the black community, to hold nobody to because the culture is gone. The romance is gone, right? You meet the average black girl now. Listen, you're not going to interact with her if you're not willing to spend money. I just saw something recently about a guy who was taking a girl out, and because he never called their outings dates, she dropped him. Now, sounds kind of iffy. She probably just wasn't feeling him like that. But that was the excuse that she gave. The excuse she gave was the fact that because we went out multiple times, but you didn't call our multiple outings a date, I took that as you wasn't interested in me. What? But see, that's the games black women play. That's why I'm saying the damage, the games. By the time you actually, and that's why I tell you guys, you got to stop dealing with them. By the time you actually meet somebody good, dude, you're mentally finished. They've already hit you with the brutality. They've already hit you with the fatality. Mentally, listen, you're gonna end up bleeding on a good woman, dude. You still have open wounds and you're gonna bleed on her, my nigga. You gotta put a band-aid on it because after a while, you've become conditioned to bad treatment. You think, listen, if this one isn't as bad as the last one, is that means it's better. No, you're still getting a bad deal. You're still getting 80% of that bad deal. It was 90. And see, this is that funny part too. Black women know they suck. They know they're offering you bad deals. You are willing to accept 80%, 75% of what's left. No, they're dropping that down to 50. They're dropping it down to 40. And the more of a productive man you are, the more money you make, the more of a quote unquote nice guy you are, you're going to get even less of a good deal. So I'm telling guys, man, listen, well, if you're going to get a terrible deal over here, why not go somewhere else? I understand dudes want to, oh, I want black children, but you won't even be in your kid's life. Like, I, of the guys I know right now in my age range, 25, 26, 27, 24, these guys that have children are not living in a stable relationship with the mother. It's not the mother and the father and the children living in one home. Even people who are in their early 30s, it's the step parent situation. Most of you guys, oh, I want black children. You will not be in your kid's life, dumbass. If 70, somewhere between 70 and 80% of the children are growing up in single parent households, what makes you think you're going to be a part of that? What, 20%? Let's run with 25%. What makes you think you're going to be part of the 25% of of parents living together, raising your children under one household? What makes you think that? Man, you guys are dreamers, man. I dream too. I'm optimistic, but I know where I am defeated. You feel me? I know where I can't win. I'm not seeking battles that I can't win. See, I don't like taking losses. I don't like gambling. I like sure winnings. And I made the one video talking about comparing the averages. When you stack up American black women to, okay, let's talk about the American versions. You stack the American black women to the American Asian, or the American All American Bunny, or the American Hispanic woman. When you stack them up, who do you think you're gonna get a better deal with? Even if it isn't by too much, we already know black women are at the bottom. Like, that's, you don't have to argue that. We don't have to debate that. We don't have to try and we don't have to try and redo the numbers again. We already know that's at the bottom, dude. We know when it comes to them, there's a 40% chance you're gonna get a good deal as the normal guy. Tyrone, he'll get 50%, but you as a normal black man, you're gonna get 40, maybe even 35% of a good deal, right? Because I also mentioned, listen, and I got so far away from the topic, but yeah, if 75% of the children are sired by 25% of the men, and that 25% of the men only go up after 30 years old, that means black men are choosing to be stepdads. That's why black men have always been known to be the group of guys who are willing to be stepdads. Like, when you compare the numbers of us who are willing to be stepdads, that's because guys aren't getting anything. If you, oh my God, if the group of men had access to being a biological father, or at least starting your own family, because those men who are stepdads, sometimes, not in all cases, but sometimes they do get a child out of the female. But it goes to show, well, listen, black women who do have more than one kid, there's a 60 to 70% chance the second child is from a different man. If I'm not mistaken, I believe 50% of black men first child comes from a woman who already has more than one kid, or at least one kid. So that means black men are choosing to be stepdads just off of that alone. Just off the fact that you won't be able to be the biological father, dude. You can't even start your own family. That's a good enough reason to go somewhere else anyways, because again, that alone brings down the deal that you were gonna get already to 50%. You were willing to accept the fact, all right, you've been getting dug out by Tyrone. You got student loan debt. You got consumer debt. You feel me? You make bad choices. All right, I'm willing to accept that. That brings you down to, let's say, 75%. But you already have kids by another man that you don't even have on child support. And then you want me to take care of that kid? And you might or might not give me my own child? Listen, that's 40% right there. That's 40% right there, man. And again, not to mention that the deal is so bad. The deal is so bad. And I look at stuff like this, right? When it comes to especially older women, because I'm seeing the shift, right? And this is how bad the deals are getting. I'm seeing the shift where they're trying to make millennial women, like they're trying to make it a trend and a common thing where millennial women will shoot for Zoomers, right? Gen Z guys, because millennial men are not trying to get with millennial women. Guys who are in their 40s, guys who are in their 30s, right? These guys looking at the women of their age range and saying, nah, like, I know what you've been doing. Like, I don't want that. And then you wasn't checking for me 20 years ago, 15 years ago. So if you guys have noticed, they're making it a common thing where, listen, okay, you're 38, the guys around you don't want you, go and find you a guy who's 25. He'll treat you right. You know what I'm saying? But that's because these guys are already so starved. Think about this. As a 25-year-old man, and matter of fact, I'm 26. So as a 26-year-old guy, I'm not going out my way to look for a woman who is 38 years old, 35 years old. You feel me? Like you're already 8 years older than me. Okay, let's say on the low end, you're 6 years older than me. 9 years older than me, 12 years older than me. I'm not going out my way to look for that. But they're trying to make it common because if we can't get the guys of that same age range to take these women, this means it's going to be and for millennial and Gen Z women, it's going to be a lot of women who are unmarried with no children. So they're trying to pass off the unwanted women onto the younger men and saying, well, listen, you can have this. So even within our community, you can't even have a woman who is your age. You gotta have a woman who is 7 years your senior, dude. She done already got that pussy stretched through her whole 20s, stretched through her whole 30s. And that's what's available to you. Worn down battle axe, stretched out, stink Arby's roast beef pussy. They're saying that's what you deserve. You can't even have a woman who is of your age range. Or even worse, you can't have a woman who's younger than you. Oh, you're grooming. That's what's available to you. No, thank you. No, thank you. But have you guys realized when you do see black men date non black women, the woman he's dating is either younger than him or at least around his age? Because black women don't believe you deserve to catch them with their youth. Black women believe you don't deserve the femininity. You don't deserve, a slim, attractive, curvy body woman. They believe you don't deserve that because, again, it's also part of the 40% deal that even if they want you, they want you when it's too late. They want you when they have the baggage, they have the weight, the debt, the children, probably a disease. And they get upset when you get with a non-black woman and she doesn't have any of those things, because if she had those things, you feel me, if she was fat, she's already a single mom, She got a whole bunch of debt. You know what I'm saying? She got diseases and all that other kind of everything that's a negative towards her value. They wouldn't care about that. You see? But the fact that she is attractive, the fact that she is slim, the fact that she is submissive, cooperative, right? She doesn't have any children, she doesn't have any diseases. She, the fact that it's a good deal for you, you feel me? You're getting 80%, 90% of what you want, maybe even 95% of what you want. They look at you and say, oh, you don't deserve that. Why? Because you're not Tyrone, because you're not 6'8", because you don't tote guns, because you don't have tattoos. Man, listen, this is how I know it's real, and I'm gonna end it like this, right? When I was living in Atlanta, this was so funny to me. I went to the grocery store called Publix, right? I ordered a sub from the Publix deli section, and there was an Asian woman, an older Asian woman, who was making my sandwich. And as I'm standing there waiting for my sandwich, right? She told me, she said, listen, you are a handsome young man. I'm like, oh, thank you. And the black woman, the fat, nasty looking, ugly black woman standing next to her making the other people's sandwiches, right? She picked her head up and looked at the Asian woman in disgust, looked back at me, made a stink face, and she said, listen, well, she don't ever say that to anybody. And then she looked me up and down and gave me that look like, nigga, you ain't nothing. I'm like, damn. But that's how real it is, dude. If anybody shows you interest, if anybody, that's how you know. That's how you know, black man, you deserve to be with somebody else because they look at you. And that's why black women, they're trying to spread feminism and misandry because they don't want you to go anywhere else and have a good deal. They don't want anyone else to see you in a good light. That's why they hate that shit so much with the passport bros, because ultimately black women don't want to see you smile. They hate to see a smiling black man. They hate to see a black man who is happy because guess what? On the plantation, you weren't happy. On the plantation, you always had your head down. You always had your head down, your shoulders were shrugged, and you was always in a depressive state because you had to sit back and watch all the black women line up to fuck Tyrone. You had to watch them line up and sneak into the master house just to get fucked, just to bring back a light skinned baby to help you. I'm sorry, to make you help her take care of it. Even though that same kid got to grow up inside master's house, Tyrone's bastard, oh, he was in the field with you. And they believe that's what you deserve. You don't deserve to procreate and be a biological father. You don't deserve a woman who is attractive or at least semi decent to be interested in you. And I talked about that before because I mentioned, listen, at one of my old jobs, the engineer, listen, he has a family with a Latina. He's an engineer, so he's making good money. And she was talking so much shit about him, but it was about the fact that the woman was cooperating with him. The woman was giving him a good deal. And what's funny is, why is it that these same women, right, who feel like, oh, you don't deserve that, you wouldn't give him a chance? But they believe no woman should give you a chance, black men. They believe that, listen, when you hop off that plane, any continent you go to, any country you go to, you're gonna deal with the same shit that black women were trying to give you back in the States. Anyways, black men, I'm out. Peace.